Oh, it's Tammy with Collard Valley Cooks, and today we're doing an old-fashioned recipe, making our gravy from scratch and using good ingredients, topping it off with good old biscuits. This is a southern chicken casserole, but with a bunch of biscuits on the top, and it's just delicious. This is our broth that I had left over from cooking that chicken, and I'm just going to take the fat off the top of it. Put it in here. Now a little bit of water is going to pop out of there. And we'll be left with the fat. We have our veggies chopped up right here that we're going to use. I'm going to saute these, let them start getting soft. I'm going to turn the heat down some, and we're just going to let these cook till they get a little soft. Now's the time to add those frozen peas, lima beans, green beans, whatever it is you're using, if they're fresh potatoes, so that it has time to get fork tender in this process here. So add them now, and that way they'll be good and done when you get your casserole out of the oven. You don't want your vegetables to still be crunchy. So we're just going to take our veggies and transfer them into our bowl that we're going to mix up the casserole in. Then we're going to make some delicious gravy. This pot is heavy, it's cast iron, and it's so heavy that I don't want to pick it up to do my transfer, so it's just taking me a little bit longer than it normally would. All right, we're going to mix up a little bit of cream with some cornstarch. So I'm going to start with about a cup. This is half and half, which is half cream, half regular milk. I want this to be a creamy, delicious casserole. Now that's cold, and we're going to put some cornstarch in it. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, and we're going to whisk it good. Do a really good job whisking so that your gravy doesn't wind up lumpy. And for our gravy, I'm going to use the same pan. It's going to be hard to pour it up because it's heavy, but I'll just make it happen. All right? So we're going to use a little butter in there with it. I've already got some fat in here from my chicken broth, so you need about an 1/8 cup. We're not going to make a whole bunch of gravy, but let's put this butter in here and let it melt. And this is going to have to go pretty fast, okay? So we're going to use some of our chicken broth. That's a good cup, a heaping cup. I've got some bigger pieces down there that I'm just going to use this little thing and get out so that my gravy's pretty. And now we're going to take our cream that we've whisked this cornstarch into and add it to our broth. And it should thicken right up. And then we'll taste it and see if we need to add any salt and pepper. So let me go ahead and get me a little spoon and taste it. It needs a little bit of salt. Now you need the salt to taste. This is going to be a little bit of chicken bouillon that will be my salt. Then we're going to add some black pepper. Chicken's always good with black pepper. I'm going to turn this off. Let's turn it off. I'm not used to working with electric. Let me pull it over, get it off the heat. So there's our gravy. It looks delicious. This is McCormick poultry seasoning. We're going to sprinkle just a little bit in here, mix it up. Smells good. We are going to add a can of peas. Now you can use the fresh ingredient, whatever you decide to use, whether it's green beans, potatoes, whatever you want to use. I had green peas. That's what I wanted to use because I am using a biscuit dough, so I wanted something green. And then we're going to put in a jar of red pimentos, and this is a large jar, it's 4 ounces. And I think I'm gonna go drain it. So there's a 4-ounce jar of pimentos. That'll make it pretty too. Now we're gonna put in a couple of eggs. This is optional. If you don't like boiled eggs, then don't put them in here. I have chickens, so we have lots of eggs we need to use up. I'm even gonna make deviled eggs to go with this tonight to serve it. Add your chicken. I think that'll be enough. Make sure it's pulled apart good. And now we're gonna pour our gravy on top of that. Okay, we're gonna mix this up. Now we're gonna pour this into our dish. Just find a dish you think it will fit into. We're gonna top it with our biscuit dough. Now you can use spoon biscuits and dollop them on here, or you can make a regular biscuit, however you want to do it. So we're going to have 2 cups of self-rising flour, but I'm going to use mayonnaise today and regular milk. Since we do have so much flavor in the actual casserole, I'm going to put in just a little bit poultry seasoning, since this is a chicken dish. And this is self-rising flour. It has the salt and the baking powder already in it. For the fat, we're going to use mayonnaise today, because whoever heard of a casserole that didn't have some mayonnaise? This is Blue Plate mayonnaise. We're going to use about a 1/2 cup. About a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. That way we don't have to cut in any shortening. And I'm not sure how much milk this is going to take, so I'm going to start with a 1/2 cup. Let's see where to go from there. So it's mayonnaise, milk, little poultry seasoning, self-rising flour, I think it's going to take the full cup. All right, there we have it. So it should look about like that. If you want to drop a biscuit. Now it's too wet to pat out a biscuit and put it on here, so we'll do drop biscuits today. So we're just going to take it by the spoonful and dollop it on the top. And you can put them pretty close together. I know with my bunch, the more biscuits, the merrier. The happier they'll be. Now, I don't really know what size casserole this is. Just grab one that you think is big enough to hold the filling that you make. Because you can add or subtract whatever you want to this casserole. It's not going to hurt a thing. It was really close to being just perfect. We're going to bake this at 350 degrees for 45 minutes. There's our delicious casserole. All right, it is time to dip into this delicious casserole. I'm going to show you how the biscuit looks first. It's nice and done. It looks pretty. Okay, y'all, we got this done in 45 minutes. It was plenty of time to clean the kitchen, and boy, is it gonna be delicious. I know you're gonna love this recipe. If you don't wanna make it the old-fashioned way, you can always use a shortcut recipe. I'll go ahead and write that down for you. So if you don't wanna make your own gravy, all right, and you don't wanna put fresh veggies in, you wanna use some canned veggies, and not have to fool with the other, then you can always put in onion powder, garlic powder, to help spruce up the taste, all right? Let's give it a try though. Mine's good and homemade. Good and homemade, and man, that's delicious. It's really delicious. Y'all are gonna love this recipe. I guarantee. Just cook like Mama did and you'll be good and happy and good and full, all right? This is the kind of food that sticks to the ribs, right? We'll see you next time on Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. Bye, y'all, we love ya.
It's over now. Tammy, she just showed you how to cook it up like Mama used to do. So go